More than anything in the Sonic universe, the answer to what exactly are the Chaos Emeralds is one that has been elusive ever since the gem showed up back in Sonic 1. I'll take it up a notch and go as far as to ask what exactly is Chaos Energy to boot. One is way more talked about than the other, but both of those questions go hand in hand, and to understand them, we must go back to the beginning of it all and lay the groundwork. Trace everything, everyone, every notable instance of Chaos Energy being utilized in any capacity to get the answers we're looking for. If Chaos Control is the bread and butter, then we need to find the main course. Let's get moving. The first recorded appearance of the Chaos Emeralds is back in Sonic 1 for the Genesis. There were only 6 emeralds at the time, of which, if you missed a single one, Eggman would still taunt you even though he was defeated for all intents and purposes. These gems of power don't do anything in the first adventure our Blue Blur sets out on, but all of that would change come the second installment a year later. In Sonic 2, we see the induction of Super Sonic to the Badass Transformation Hall of Fame. You tear through enemies, are invulnerable to damage, except pits, endless or otherwise, and blaze through the stage at supersonic speed. Still nothing notable though. Sonic is just yellow. Sure, you can do everything I just mentioned, but that's it. There's no substance behind this achievement, no background behind how or even why you can do this, not even a single ounce of history. The Hedgehog's third, or rather fourth, endeavor onto consoles though, changes this. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is a story told in 3 parts. Not your beginning, middle, and end. No, that's not even close to what's important here. It's told in a manner of past, present, and future, all of which are connected by one singular and gigantic emerald. Have you ever wondered who is really the main character of Sonic 3 and Knuckles? Is it Sonic, since he's the hero we've known for this long? Or is it Knuckles, since once we play as him, and then the later parts of Sonic's story, understand that this is just a dude that wants peace? The answer is neither. The main character of Sonic 3 and Knuckles is the Master Emerald. Everything in the story lives and dies by what happens to this huge ass rock, and the story smacks you in the face with it right about here. You've seen this mural 1,000 times, but what's 1,000 more, am I right? This mural, constructed by the ancient echidnas, tell of a great evil to come and attempt to use the Master Emerald for bad things. Yes? In turn, this prompts Knuckles to prepare everything he feels necessary to combat said evil. Secret pathways for faster travel, training his body to break through obstacles, and how to straight up avoid certain areas that may not be as important. When the threat that was prophesied finally comes to the island, it's time for him to practice what he preached, stopping who he believes to be an issue for his island, only to then come to the revelation all too late that not everything is as simple as it seems. A doomed future. At least until he realizes that perhaps the understanding possessed about the mural was incorrect. His final hope for a brighter tomorrow is the same prophet whom he thought his ancestry, and by extension his island, was trying to communicate as his enemy. It has been noted that the Echidna tribe follows the Master Emerald as if it were a god. The gem can allow a sort of foresight to those that have been tasked with the responsibility of guarding it. This allows preparations to be made, as we saw Knuckles do in S3 and K. Echidnas, particularly our boy Knux and a very distant ancestor of his we'll be getting to shortly, are seen to have intense connections with the Master Emerald and even Chaos Emeralds. They are naturally imbued with the ability to harness the true capabilities of the magical gems and get the most out of them, for better or for worse. The outliers will begin to show themselves though. A question of nature versus nurture, heritage versus science, the pinnacle.
Behold the ultimate power!
What do Shadow the Hedgehog, Dr. Gerald Robotnik, and the Bio-Lizard all have in common in Sonic Adventure 2? We see them all die in this game. No, but for real though. They all relate back to Angel Island's Echidna tribe and the affinities some members of that clan possesses when it comes to harnessing the Emerald's true power and essence. It's been a talking point as of recent, but Gerald 100% took inspiration for his inventions from the Echidnas. Shadow's design, his chaos powers, and the ability to harness chaos energy are all proof of this. The question is, how though? No, really, how? We see glimpses of the process to create Shadow and know that Black Doom played a major role in it by offering his DNA, but that's it. Was there a Chaos Emerald involved somehow? There had to be, otherwise there's no way that Gerald can imbue Shadow with the same attributes that the Knuckles clan had, like being able to sense and utilize emeralds. This wouldn't even be the first time that a Robotnik creation would have chaos energy, or the ability to harness chaos energy implemented within them. Just look at Mechasonic at the end of Knuckles' story back in S3 and K.
I'll crush you!
Circling back to Shadow though, he is our first instance of seeing a user of the Chaos Emeralds need only one of them to perform miracles. Chaos Control is the name of the game, and it's revolutionary when you look at the applicable scenes. Shadow and Sonic's first introduction, Sonic escaping the self-destruct pod, the Bio-Lizard's entrance and subsequent escape, two hedgehogs putting their all into saving the world that they care so much about. Two? How the hell did Sonic use Chaos Control? The answer is quite simple in theory, but to understand fully and create our own conclusions, we'll have to make a couple of more stops. Blaze's dimension is one of those things that's unfortunately never gotten explained, but we have a framework at least. During the events of Sonic Rush, Eggman Nega steals the Soul Emeralds and Blaze is unwillingly brought along to Sonic's world as per the Soul Emerald's whim to stop the villain. An incursion between Blaze and Sonic's dimension is imminent should the heroes fail to get the Soul Emeralds back in their rightful place. This simple setup and the following story are all we need to draw conclusions. The Soul Emeralds are a direct counterpart to the Chaos Emeralds, and it's shown that much like Shadow, that Blaze can sense the Soul Emeralds. It's another innate ability. We also learn that the Soul Dimension and the emeralds that come from there are also linked to one another very strongly, hence the whole reason why one world is about to crash into another. This is the first instance of a Chaos Control-like ability induced by two or more emeralds, 1 year before Sonic 06 would do it. What makes this interesting is the fact that these are two different sets of emeralds. The result is a fight in the space-time rifts between the two clashing dimensions. Well, are you interested to see what would happen if two emeralds from the same world were used? The song has been sung, and the dance has been had. We know 06 is a bad game. One thing that it had though, is a lot of damning evidence for why 3-foot-tall animals can have superpowers. From almost all of Shadow's abilities to the fact that a complete newbie like Silver is able to utilize a move such as Chaos Control, there's a lot to talk about. Shadow has no access to a Chaos Emerald during gameplay, but can still pull off similar moves that required such in previous games. It's already been proven that Gerald had to imbue him with chaos energy, as Shadow is a created life form and thus would not be able to generate said energy on his own. This explains Chaos Snap, Chaos Blast, and Chaos Spear, but these are fabricated. What if there was another that could do similar things organically though? No, not you. Instead of the Dark Knight, let's take a look at the Boy Wonder. The origins of Silver's power are a mystery to many and explored by few. It's always been my headcanon that he is not solely the derivative of a specific pairing of our favorite characters, hanging out, and instead acts as a symbol of genetic peak. Think about it, the only characters that have some sort of unique genetic predisposition for powers from present day are Sonic, the freak of nature, Shadow, the lab experiment, and Blaze, princess from another world. Hundreds of years begin to pass, and more of these superpowered individuals are bound to show up naturally. I spoke about this in my dedicated Silver video, so be sure to check that out, but time is no stranger to inducing change once things become stale. The culmination of individuals that have different levels of chaos energy, combining, breaking down, and forming something new is a simple rule of nature. Principles of law and order affect everyone. Everything. Mephiles has always interested me, seeing as he's one half of the literal sun god, but also a full-fledged murderer. That aside though, he, or rather they, since I'll be speaking in terms of Solaris from now on, throw a wrench in the theory that we've been working towards this entire time. By nature, gods are not of the plane that they choose to govern. How then can a god tap into the power of the Chaos Emeralds to deconstruct time and reality? Well, we can look at it one of two ways. The Duke of Soliana during his Solaris project experiments was utilizing the blue Chaos Emerald's energy to assist with the process of harnessing the god's power. Or, this line right here in Shadow's second fight against Mephiles states that he absorbed some of the Ultimate Lifeform's power in the past as well. No matter which way you look at it, either directly from a Chaos Emerald or through Shadow, Solaris was granted the ability to tap into chaos energy. Leave it to mortals to grant God all the evidence needed to warrant their destruction. It'd be far from the first time this has happened. It definitely won't be the last. Out of the two Gaias, Light and Dark, the Sun and the Moon, which do you think has a connection to the Chaos Emeralds? If you answered both, then you'd actually be wrong. The Chaos Emeralds have almost nothing to do with Dark Gaia beside the fact that it was awoken prematurely via Eggman's Emerald Power laser cannon destroying the planet. Light Gaia, or Chip, is the only entity that harnesses the power of the Chaos Emeralds as seen in his Megazord transformation. Insinuations of Dark Gaia being the manifestation of malice within Earth's inhabitants, and Light Gaia being the manifestation of one's body and the desire to keep that malice within begin to circulate. All of this amounts to one revelation. The servers are the seven chaos.
Chaos is power. Power is enriched by the heart. The controller is the one that unifies the chaos. Only you can do this.
The Master Emerald chant isn't just about the Master Emerald. It's a call to action. Are you willing to step up to the plate when it's time to bat and face insurmountable obstacles, internal or otherwise? Will you have an indomitable spirit that yields to no danger? Find your courage, light your internal flame, use that energy to fuel your fight for a better tomorrow. The last important piece of this theory puzzle comes from the latest timeline entry. Sonic Frontiers is an exposition dump of a game, and I love it for that with all my heart and then some. We learn the origin of the Chaos Emeralds, but hints of something bigger are at play. This one shot of the Master Emerald. There is no altar for it. It's just there, connected to the earth, seemingly possessing a heartbeat as if to tell us that the land itself is breathing and alive. My firm theory is that all living things in Sonic's universe are imbued with chaos energy. Some can tap into it easier and have amazing abilities as a result of exposure to such, while others may have an affinity for it but it manifests in smaller manners. Sonic's speed, Blaze's pyrokinesis, far off into the future with a sneak peek of this being Silver's psychokinesis. Well, what about the inorganics, I can hear you asking? Just as simple would be my response. Shadow, Gerald gave him the powers to harness and tap into the true potential of the Chaos Emeralds. Mechasonic, Metal Sonic, same deal. Emerald, specifically designed to do just that by his creators. And the list goes on. The Chaos Emeralds and Chaos Energy are things that no one understands, yet everyone acknowledges. It's like why the wind blows. You won't have an explanation for it, since it's just something that occurs. However, you revel in its cool breezes during the summer. It gives you a little lift when you least expect it. And most importantly, it can give you a sign that better things are to come.